Thank you, everyone, for coming out and supporting. What I want to highlight first, before I begin, is that Governor Dan McKee and the Rhode Island Department of Housing awarded $3.5 million to create 231 additional shelter beds. And for that, this happened on Friday, September 30th, and for that, thank you. The first round of funding through $5 million solicitation for shelter expansion and support 6 separate projects across Rhode Island. Those receiving money: Amos House Family Shelter, Blackstone Valley Advocacy, Central Falls, the Catholic Social Services of Rhode Island, Sojourner House, Thrive Behavioral Health, and Westerly Area Rest Meals. My message here is house the unsheltered now and not just pass the buck.
God bless.
The first priority should have been the unsheltered, and the message here is directed to the governor of Rhode Island, Dan McKee, and the mayors of surrounding cities of Rhode Island, and accountability for their city residents. The tale of 39 cities. Providence has a city resolution. That city-owned buildings not being used and or are sitting in blight be rehabbed, brought up to safe and adequate living conditions, and allocated to provide housing for the unsheltered. Where are these city buildings? This is more about moral revival and not dehumanizing the homeless. They have suffered enough. Time has wasted and turned into 2 amputations last winter. Drug use is on the rise. Mental illness is on the rise for their trauma of life out on the streets. It doesn't have to be this way.
God bless.
You have the responsibility and the authority to save them. This message is to Governor Dan McKee. Our city and state would rather fund the Superman building with luxury apartments using housing trust fund money than create housing for the homeless and the unsheltered. Fires are happening and families will be forced to live on the streets, adding to the unsheltered numbers that have existed throughout the pandemic. These numbers have been remaining between 400 to 500 for the past 3 years. Sleeping in the cold is torture.
Been there. God bless.
Sleeping in the cold is traumatic.
Glory.
The state may not view homelessness as a state of emergency, but it's a state of emergency for the unsheltered. To be forced to live outdoors is inhumane. Anyone have a heat stroke due to unbelievable temps and humidity during the summer? It's traumatic. It's still a state of emergency. It doesn't matter which season we're in.
Totally unacceptable.
Idle time and new drug use, new mental illness, an influx of 911 calls, increased prison stay at the ACI, stripping the state's homeless population of an essential item, which is housing. The unsheltered, homeless need housing now. The unsheltered homeless deserve equal rights and housing justice. Homelessness affects everyone. The businesses downtown don't want homeless folks in front of their business. Well, where are they? Why aren't they advocating for better conditions? Homelessness, again, affects everyone. The first person I have coming up to the mic is CJ, who's a youth advocate. I also want to add that my name is Terry Wright, and I organize for housing at DARE, Direct Action for Rights and Equality. CJ!